Hello, everyone. It's Chris. Welcome to your Sunday Journal with Me session. Thanks for bearing with me over the last 2 weeks as I moved through some family stuff and I wasn't home. So coming and going and running around, and so now I'm home for this weekend and I can pull a bunch of cards. And I pulled some cards to start myself off to sort of get back in touch with this process instead of popping in to do it with you for 10 minutes or 15 minutes and to sort of get back into a groove here. And so I pulled some cards to sort of find a general sense of atmosphere and theme. And that's why these two on the left are turned facing you so that you can see them, and I'll run through them. And I thought they were really for all of us, not just me, and something we can all tap into. And especially as now we're in September and the end of the year is coming, and maybe you're desperately holding on to summer, and maybe you're desperately praying for October and fall. I am of the second camp. So I can't wait for sweaters and boots and blankets and tea and books and rain and just some gloomy days and binge watching movies and things and reading and all that. So, and writing and autumn leaves and all those good things. I am not a summer person at all. And so, but if you are, and it could be a very disorienting time as maybe the fun and wildness and freedom of the summer are winding down. And some people find that stressful. I personally love it because I'm an introvert. So now the whole world is going to start slowing down and become somewhat introverted. So this is my season. But I just thought, if whatever cycle you're in and wherever you are, these cards would definitely, hopefully, be grounding for you too, because September is Virgo season, and Virgo is material things, it's responsibilities, it's grounding. And you may feel that weighing you down, or you may feel that grounding you in a positive way. So I thought I would keep these cards facing you and share them with you for you to filter your journaling through, or just to inspire you. It's up to you, or you can ignore them entirely. That's also fine. But first, let's light a candle. I have another Reiki charged candle, and this one is for healing. It has lemon balm, cedar, heather, and oh, that's it. Okay, sorry. Essential oil fragrances blend lemon balm, cedar, and heather. Oh, excuse me, and ocean. It is dark purple, and the affirmation is, I am healed and restored to wholeness. So let's light that candle. And I am a crystals person. I don't know about you, but I am. And obviously, I think you all know this by now if you've been watching these videos, because sometimes I have crystals. And I recently read somewhere about how to cleanse your crystals. I'm always looking for information like that that's easy. Not, oh, go out somewhere and bury your crystals in the earth and dig them up a week later. I can't really do that. I can't really dig anything up where I am right now. Sometimes I use incense, and sometimes I use sage, and you can put certain ones in water, but be careful because some of them can dissolve, so you need to figure that out. And you can also put them on your windowsill or put them outside during the full moon. That's fine. They can discolor if you leave them in the sun for too long, if you don't take them, bring them in the morning, or you completely forget about them and they sit on your windowsill for a week. Who's done that? Raise your hand. Me. So I recently read that you can also use a bell. Hooray! Nice and easy and simple, and also it has a lovely sound, and you can also use it to cleanse your space. If you are worried about sage or incense setting off your smoke alarm, and who hasn't had that experience, And then your entire apartment building or your neighbors are worried that the place is going to burn down, which is an unnecessary stress for the people around you. A bell is nice and easy. So I don't really know how you use it. No one is giving specific instructions, or maybe I don't care. That's also true. Maybe you can use it for one at a time, or put them on a tray or something and just ring the bell over them. You know, make it up, whatever you like. So I thought I got this at a place where I bought one of my cards, my deck of cards, the second card in from the left, which is the Work Your Light Oracle cards by Rebecca Campbell, artwork by Danielle Noel. And so I thought I would just ring this bell to sort of clear this space for us for a moment. And just, what I want you to do is close your eyes. No one's looking. No one can see you sitting there closing your eyes. I know it sometimes feels vulnerable, especially if you're in a cafe. If you're in a cafe or something listening to this, put your sunglasses on. No one will see. Don't close your eyes if you're driving. Please stop the car and do this. Don't be driving. And just close your eyes for a moment. And let's take a breath and listen to the bell. So let's start from the left. I'm just going to share briefly what these cards mean so that you can keep them in mind, and you're certainly welcome to journal on these cards. If you're new, welcome. You'll find more than 4 months of videos on this channel for journaling and writing prompts. I have more to load. And we go over some cards for inspiration, for ideas, and introspection and intention and intuition, and then we journal on them for 10 minutes. And you're welcome to keep going after that 10 minutes, but that's the length of time that we have some journaling. So the card here is honor yourself. And what I love about this image, let me just look at it for 1 second, is this is a leafless, sort of leafless tree. It's bare, it's pale, it has these ghost flowers or leaves, and then around it is this wonderful, brilliant green vine with pink flowers embracing the tree, holding the tree, supporting the tree. And so, this is that idea of embracing yourself, and there are a lot of people that even in yoga will say give yourself a hug, and certainly do that if that makes you helps you feel grounded and safe. But this card is it's a bright pink, and it's very but it's also soft and positive, and it gave me a very emotional charge for a moment, because, and I don't know about you, so maybe you need to do this too. Maybe this resonated with you. And the simple message is, but it's not simple to do, but it's a very simple message. Honor your own needs, feelings, and desires, and be true to yourself. So this card may raise up for you questions about how much you've been giving of yourself this year. This is a constant battle, I think, in some ways, whether it's with giving too much to family, giving too much to a job, giving too much to the people who come to you for support, giving too much to a creative practice or a hobby or a group associated with that and not leaving enough time for yourself. And sometimes that can be out of fear. It's easier to help people than to help ourselves. It's easier to focus on other people's success than our own. Because if we try for that, we aim for that, there is a possibility that we won't succeed, or it will come in a different form that we didn't expect and maybe don't resonate with, and maybe we will later, but when it comes, it can be disappointing because it's not what we thought. So just take a moment here and think about this question. You know, what I've been doing sometimes is putting reminders on my phone. September is self-care month. Who knew? Maybe you guys knew, but I didn't. So I've been adding that reminder to my phone. It pops up. There are several reminders and affirmations that pop up on my phone throughout the day so that I see them. So you might want to write one that says honor yourself or be true to yourself and put that on your phone. So it pops up. The second card is, and this is from the Soul Trees deck, which is Soul Trees Oracle cards created by Allison Williams Yee, Y-E-E. And this is the Work Your Light Oracle card. And now I've lost where this card is in the deck, and these are not numbered, so give me a moment. I love this deck, but the lack of numbering makes me a little crazy. Okay. So this is Birthing a New Age. And it reads, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. So, you know what I'd love for you all to do is take a moment, take your journal out now if you want to. You can just stare at this and meditate on it or contemplate this card if you like. But what comes up for you looking at this image? It's very dramatic and magical and mystical, and makes me wish I could find a labyrinth like this and just sit in the middle of it. But you might, when you hear me read the explanations of these cards, you might jot down ideas that come to you that you can go back to for the journaling process. So this card, often our path is exactly the one that we don't feel prepared to walk. Walk it anyway. Often what is rising feels far bigger than we could possibly hold. Be a container for it anyway. Often our creations seem to have a wild, uncontrollable consciousness of their own. Birth them anyway. Often what is ours to do is the very thing that most intimidates us. Be courageous and do it anyway. We are birthing a new age. In the process of allowing the old cycle to fall away and the new to rise, it's like driving in the fog and trusting the road will appear ahead. We need to release old identities and ways that no longer serve us, using our intuition as a compass. It is time to give permission and space for what is beckoning within to be born. We are dreaming a new world into being. And here's an affirmation. So if you'd like to close your eyes, let me read this to you. I am open to surrendering to the creations that are wanting to be birthed through me. May I be of service in a way that delights my mind, body, and soul. Please use me. Please lead me. Please show me the way. So certainly journal on those two cards if you'd like. I just wanted to, I often pull cards before I get started with this video, and so I wanted to just share those cards with you. And you might, if you wanted to journal on this card, you might write about the path you don't feel prepared to walk, what's coming up that's bigger than you can hold, what wild creative things are coming forward that you are afraid to work with and work on. what is coming to you to do that is intimidating, and how can you be courageous. But you can also just write, please use me, please lead me, please show me the way at the top of the page, and then whatever entity you believe in, or whether it's a higher self, God, or Buddha, or guardian angels, or, your future self, whatever, you could have that person write you back, or a mentor, someone that you look up to, whether living, dead, someone you know, someone you don't know, maybe have them write back to you with some answers about that. The next card is the full moon in Pisces card, because it's a full moon in Pisces right now. It showed up, I think, at 12:33 or 12:34 this morning, or this morning. But apparently it was in full force yesterday Friday. Okay, I've got my days mixed up, sorry. It came in at 12:33 on Saturday morning, and it was in full force on Friday, but it's, the 3 days around the full moon it's still in effect. So we are still in it right now when I'm recording this. And it's the full moon in Pisces. And the message is balance, spirituality, and practicality. So let me just read a little bit about that card. I have to take my glasses off to do this because my eyesight is changing. Have you been so head in the clouds that you've lost touch with reality? Well, it is the end of summer. If so, take this card as a sign that you need to pay attention and make a concerted effort to move toward your goals. The more practical steps you can take, the better. It's time to find an inner balance between your responsibilities and your dreams. Meditate on your question, and the solutions to your issue may now come through very clearly. If you're in a tricky situation because you've been acting the martyr, this card will be a message from the cosmos to drop the act for everyone's sake. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, so the full moon in Pisces symbolically marks endings. When the moon is full in Pisces, or whenever you pull this card, it's time to dive deep into your emotions. Practicality is at odds with the numinous Piscean energies that have no borders, so feel your way now. Psychic ability is heightened when the full moon is in Pisces, and soulmates now connect. It's also time to send out your dreams to the universe, releasing your fears. So full moons are about releasing, and so you might consider using this opportunity to journal about the things you want to release, the things that... And this is also a time to celebrate, this is a harvest moon as well, so this is the time to celebrate your wins, and whether they came to you in the form you expected or not, take time to look back over the year and celebrate all the good that happened and all the things that came your way, however small, and the times that you wanted one thing but something else showed up and it turned out to be the better thing, and it was something you needed when you needed it. How many times did that happen this year? We often forget to look at that because we're in the middle of a crazy period or a stressful period, and we don't necessarily note or take a moment to appreciate when something just shows up to when we need it, whether it's money or a person or time or support, or something we hear on the radio or read in a book or see in a movie that provides the answer or support and inspiration that we need to keep going, or to deal with a difficult situation, or to clear the clouds of uncertainty. So maybe take some time to think about those times that happened this year. Maybe you can just recall 3 of them where you were sort of saved just in time. I know that happened to me a lot, and mostly in the last couple of months that's happened. So that's been really amazing. But it's also just maybe goals you had that are not working out, or they're on your to-do list and they've been on there for years, and you just don't really have any feelings about them anymore, but you feel like, except that you think you should do them because that's what other people are doing or that's what other people expect, but they aren't what you want anymore. Or a way of being, a certain routine. Maybe it's the way you eat, or the way you exercise or don't exercise, or maybe the clothes you're wearing and you want a style change, or you want to cut your hair. It can be things like this that seem superficial but are really these outward manifestations of how we feel inside and what we want. And sometimes cutting your hair can really make a difference. So if you want to do that, you go for it. Or decide to grow your hair out, or stop coloring it if you color your hair, or whatever it is. Just do a style change. Go shopping, donate clothes that don't feel like you anymore, and go get some new pieces. Don't get too far into debt. We haven't fully recovered from the recession, so take care of your finances. But, just think about what you might want to release. That can be people, that can be habits, that can be jobs, that can be houses. I just released a house. Yay. I hope I mentioned that in the last video. One of the last 2 videos. Finally sold the house. That's such a relief. And, could be things in your home, clutter, could be anything. Could be sugar, it could be even, and I'm going to say this and people might freak out, but I'm going to say this. If you're an artist, whatever that looks like, and you have been so deep in the push for success and achievement, or you've been going through an intensely inspired period and creative period, and you're kind of exhausted, I'm going to whisper this, so come closer. It's okay to take a break. I know people freak out when I suggest that, but I suggest it all the time to the writers that I work with, who are like, but I have to get an MFA, but I have to publish a book, but I have to send out 20 poems. My friends are doing this, and I've seen this person do this, and I don't have any awards, and I don't. So freaking what? You are you, they are them. You're going at your own pace. Doesn't mean you can't have these things, but do it at your own pace and on your own timetable, not theirs. Take a break, fill the well. We are, like I said, going into winter, and this is, fall and winter, and this is the perfect time to slow down. It can be a creative, wonderful period, or it can be a period where you maybe take a month off, or gasp, several months, or several years. I have done several years where I have stopped writing. And I think I'm entering a period of that right now, where I don't really want to work on fiction anymore for a while. And maybe it's because I'm publishing a book. I don't know. I have another one that's going to be ready to go soon, so maybe after that I'll take a break. But I feel only able to write poetry right now, and I'm not even doing that as regularly as I should. And I don't feel any remorse or angst about that at all. I've completely accepted it. So if you're a creative person, nothing terrible is going to happen if you take a break. It's okay to do that. If that's contributing, if the push for creative success is contributing to stress for you, then it's okay to take a break. So I just wanted to share that with you, and for those of you who might need to hear it. And so the oracle card for today is from Colette Baron Reid's Enchanted Map deck, and it is Wishing Well. How about that? That works perfectly with everything we've just discussed. So I'll zoom in a little bit. Wishing well. So notice how she's turned away. I'll read you what this card says, but this deck is, excuse me, I can't talk. This wishing well, look at it, it's full of treasure and light. There are butterflies and gold and light and all these wonderful things. And hold on a second, let me look at this. Looks like she's dropping off her wish, and she's letting it go and walking away. She's definitely turning away. So she must have made her wish, or she's making her wish, and then she's going to walk away. And I think those of us who love oracle cards and probably read a lot along those lines, know that you set an intention and then you let it go so that it can happen and come in the form that it should, rather than forcing it to come in the way you want. Definitely taking action is important, definitely, but not in in the way of trying to make something happen. Because then you're pushing and you're forcing it your way, and then that it can't come to you because you're pushing too hard for a certain way. And if that's not the way it's supposed to come to you, you're pushing away the way it is supposed to come to you. So here's the wishing well card. Desire is the sacred impulse for life. Feel it, but let go of all attachment to ownership. Desire is the most important impulse for creating life. Now you're seeing the relationship between desire and inspiration, and sensing that moment of truth when you feel the inception of new life. It is an aha moment when everything makes sense. Perhaps you recognize a soulmate or conceiving a baby or an idea. The wishing well card awakens you to the presence of unseen forces that enable new beginnings. There we go. Here's our new beginnings, birthing a new age. Divine intelligence activates the field of possibilities where new life is co-created in a magical way. Neither you nor anyone else can know how or why this happens. It just does. To that end, you can't control the process of growth. Rather, you must step aside to be a channel for higher forces and relinquish any attachment to how this new creation should appear or when. Form your intention and take action by dropping the coin into the wishing well, then trust in spirit. Prepare to be amazed. So I think that really connects to all of these cards. Honoring yourself is, supporting yourself and embracing your desires, but also there's this, like I mentioned, this pale tree with the ghost-like leaves, and that could be you, and this vine is whatever you feel in the world, whatever you believe in the world of spirit is what you believe in, then that's the vine embracing you and holding you up. And not pushing so hard for everything, but believing in your ability to call in what you want and participate in that process without forcing it. Obviously, the New Age card, birthing a new age, new beginnings. But again, the same thing, balance spirituality and practicality. Make your wish, that's practical, throw in the coin, and then walk away and let spirit or whatever you believe in, the universe, take action on your behalf. That's spirituality. So you can journal on this card, what's your wish? It could be as simple as that. What's your wish? Or make 5 wishes and write out how it would feel. Okay, so write the wishes, write why you want this wish to come true and how it would feel if it came true. And you can do 1 wish or as many wishes as you can in 10 minutes. So let's get started on journaling. there's our 10 minutes. Feel free to, of course, pause and keep going if you like. Some things that popped up for me with these cards, I ended up going back to the Honor Yourself card mostly. And what came up, or something that I wanted to say to all of you, is this is a very pretty card. There are flowers, it's pink, it's green, honor yourself. It sounds so, love yourself, honor yourself, self-care, self-love, be true to yourself. These are all things that sound wonderful, but they're incredibly difficult to do. And I know we probably all want to do them, but the path toward that, or to do that, is it's a bit murky, and it involves a lot of saying no to people and being misunderstood. And how many times have you all tried to do something, take an afternoon and for yourself, and you had this wonderful idea of what it would look like with a bath and candles, or a day at the spa, if you can afford that sort of thing, and good for you if you can, or just going to get a pedicure or a massage or whatever, or go to a movie that you really wanted to see, or just go sit in a cafe, and you thought if you set it up in the most perfect possible way, the way it looks in magazines, right, that and on Pinterest and Instagram, that everything would be beautiful. You'd be inspired, you'd feel relaxed, you'd feel in touch with yourself, you'd feel at peace, you'd get your answers, you would feel centered and accepting of yourself, and it would just be smooth sailing from there, right? At least for 24 hours. And it didn't work out that way. The movie sucked, or the massage was too intense and it brought up a lot of emotions, or the bath was not relaxing at all because you could hear the phone ringing, or the kids fighting, or if you couldn't get time to yourself, or I don't know, you went to a cafe and there was a couple arguing at the next table, and it's just life. Things are not perfect, and other people don't care that you need to have this moment of zen for the next hour. They have their own issues, and maybe they don't understand what you need or care what you need, and it just doesn't turn out perfectly. And I guess what I'm circling around to in my long-winded way is that honoring yourself is also about accepting your emotions, and Pisces is all about emotions. So don't try to make things perfect. Don't try to be like what you see on Instagram and Pinterest and in those women's magazines. I guarantee, it's just how it looked in a well orchestrated, carefully planned moment. That's not life. And sure, you could possibly go get a hotel room and try to have an overnight for yourself with cable and room service and a bath, and that might turn out to be really nice, but you also might go and feel lonely. How many times have we done that, right? I've gone on writing retreats, and then I sit there and I'm thinking, okay, I'm here. I've planned every possible moment of this, or not every possible moment, but I planned it. I picked the perfect place. I bought groceries and flowers and candles, and I have a new notebook, and my computer is all charged up, and I'm in this beautiful place all by myself, and I don't have phones, cell service, and I've set everything up so these are the right conditions. And then it doesn't turn out that way, because you can set up the right conditions, but that doesn't mean what you want to happen is going to happen. I just think about, and not to be name droppy and sound like I travel all over the world, because I don't. I've saved and done my traveling, and it's been something I've saved for long periods of time. But Paris, for example, is this dream everyone has, right? And it has never worked out for me. Every time I've only been to Paris twice, but both times it was not at all what I wanted. Nothing worked out. I missed my tours and had to buy tickets for other things. I've still not been to the top of the Eiffel Tower, which who cares? But I don't know, it's just a thing a lot of us want to do, and I would like to do it. I've only been to the second level, and And it was actually so many people, I had a panic attack. So I called my mother from the Eiffel Tower, I remember, and I was in the middle of an anxiety attack, and I just, she was with my sister, so I had a very nice grounded conversation with her and my sister and my niece and nephew. But the entire time, somebody was doing something in the kitchen behind me that sounded like they were breaking every glass in the restaurant, and that was like the perfect. And in the end, I just was laughing because here I was on the Eiffel, up in the Eiffel Tower with Paris spread out below and a beautiful day, and I was having anxiety, and the restaurant behind me sounded like just constant breaking glass. And it was just so life. And so that's how I think about things now. I don't try anymore to make things perfect because it's just not possible. And it's more interesting to just say, well, this is what I'd like to have happen, set up some optimal conditions, and then cross your fingers and hope that you get something out of it and try to laugh. And so that's what honoring yourself is also about. If you're feeling shitty and you're feeling emotional and you're going through a really crap time and you feel alone and you feel like, you need support from people, but they're in a really positive, excited, inspired phase of their lives and they want to support you, but they also don't want to be dragged down. Well, you might consider new friends, by the way, if they're not giving you some support, but you just feel like maybe you don't want to burden them or your family. We're here for you in these videos. If you can find something about this to laugh about, find it and maybe journal on that. Maybe write about how shitty it is and try to find the lighter side of it. Maybe describe everything going spectacularly wrong and maybe the universe exploding, the apocalypse, and just go right into it and try to find the humor in it so that you can support yourself. And then, think about what started that's new and try to find something about that you can be inspired by, but you don't have to take any action if you don't want to. It's enough to just say, okay, this is really crappy. I'm having a horrible time. This is what I hope will happen. This is my wish or my intention. And I hope this will come my way for these reasons. And then that's your practice for today. No big deal. But hopefully you feel like I've said my piece. I'm going to keep going. And even if you don't feel like keeping going, or keeping going for you is to crawl under a blanket on the couch for the next 6 hours and sleep, do that. That's totally fine. Whatever you need to do is fine. So I guess I just wanted to say that in these sessions, we're trying to honor the 3D of ourselves, our three-dimensionality, and not the glossy magazine, social media shit you see. Um, none of that. That's not real life. I mean, it can be inspiring, but if it starts to make you feel bad about yourself and your life, then stop looking at that crap because it's not real. Maybe take a social media break altogether. That's what I'm doing right now, mostly. So this turned out to be extremely long-winded video. It's way longer than I intended. If you stuck with me, thank you. I hope you got something out of it. I'd love to hear your comments below. I have a deck giveaway, but this is too long, so I'll go over it next time. It involves unicorns. It's hilarious. I mean, I love unicorns. Since I was a kid, I've always loved the idea of unicorns, but this deck might take it a little too far. So I'll share that with you all next time. And, it's been a crap time for me lately, and doing this video really made me feel better and made me laugh at what's going on in my life. So, it's possible, and thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you have a lovely rest of your Sunday, and happy writing.